I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site. Caesars executives are upbeat despite a loss and bankruptcy.
I'm Patricia Wu at the New York Stock Exchange. Gold is on track for its third straight year of losses, but the yellow metal plays a big and rather unusual role at one small cap. I'll tell you all about it.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. Two healthcare names are rallying. The latest M&A action and clinical trial results are jolting the stocks by at least a double-digit percentage gain.
Welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. Caesars Entertainment took a net loss in the third quarter due to accumulation of nearly $1 billion in commitments from bondholders concerning its bankrupt operating division, but it said overall revenue increased over the three-month period. Caesars CEO Mark Frisora was upbeat during a conference call with the investment community, saying marketing changes and a better operation efficiency have improved the bottom line for the casino giant, which operates 9 resorts on or near the Las Vegas Strip and some 50 properties nationwide. The company's quarterly results are somewhat convoluted due to the bankruptcy restructuring of Caesars Entertainment, one of its units. Well, Match Group said that it will offer about 38 million shares in a price range of $12 to $14 in an updated IPO filing. The maximum amount Match would raise is $537 million. Now, the company, which owns dating sites such as Match, Tinder, and OK Cupid, has applied to list on the NASDAQ with its symbol MTCH. Well, shares of Biotech, Horizon Pharma soared as much as 11% Monday after the company said it expects sales will double in the next 4 years, led by its orphan drug business. Orphan drugs treat rare diseases, and they often command higher prices and profits. Horizon told investors that total sales could exceed $2 billion by 2020. Orphan drugs could represent 60% of sales, up from 28% during the first 9 months of this year. Well, lots of small cap companies making news and earnings in other ways today, so here's a rundown. Atmel has a key shareholder who says he plans to vote against the Dialogue Atmel deal. Callan Energy is buying a stake in 2 Central Midland fields for $3.9 million. Depomed raised its yearly projections. DTS cut its yearly projections. X1 also cut its yearly outlook. The lockup on Finex stock ends today. Jive narrows its year-adjusted loss. Key Holdings reported a larger loss than expected. Magic Jack raised its yearly earnings projections. McDermott's third quarter revenue beat projections. Nebro had a narrower loss than expected. Omeros also had a narrower loss than what was expected. Penn Virginia warned that energy prices are threatening its survival. Rentec cutting its corporate staff by 25%. Cyclone increased its third quarter earnings by 53%. Scientific Games revenue missed estimates. Straight Path says a shareholder has increased his stake to 9.2%. Textura saw earnings meet expectations. Tube Mobile raised its yearly view. VeriStream reported a slightly smaller loss than what was estimated, and WidePoint's net revenue trailed estimates. Well, cloud computing company Rackspace Hosting reported higher profit and revenue in the third quarter. Shares are down, though, 42% this year, but they were higher after those results topped Wall Street expectations. Rackspace, which last year called off a possible sale, saying it failed to attract a high enough offer, has struggled to increase business since it changed its business model to focus on the so-called managed cloud market, selling bundled computing and support. And the long fall of LeapFrog Enterprises hit another sudden decline, with shares falling more than 20% after a disappointing earnings result. The electronic toy company reported a loss of $34 million on revenue of $67 million. That represents a sales decline of more than 40% from the same quarter a year ago. The company announced in October it was cutting more than a quarter of its workforce, and the chairman, Bill Chiasen, said that the company is still exploring strategic alternatives. Shares have dropped more than 80% this year. Some IPOs are expected to price today. Gencyte Biologics is pricing 4.6 million shares at $13 to $15. Xterra Communications pricing 5.5 million shares at $9 to $11. Advanced Accelerator Applications selling 4.7 million shares at $15 to $17. Wave Life Sciences, 5 million shares at $15 to $17. And Voyager Therapeutics is selling 4.7 million shares at a price range of $15 to $17. Gold hit a 3-month low last week. Where is it going, and why does it matter for small caps, especially one in particular? Patricia Wu joins us with more from the New York Stock Exchange.
Hi, Jane. We're going to talk about that one particular small cap, Overstock.com. They've been buying up a lot of the yellow metal, and we're going to find out from Dave Williams right here, partner and director of Strategic Gold Corp. So, Dave, what's going on with Overstock.com? Why are they buying up this metal? How much are they buying?
Overstock.com, it's been reported that they bought about $10 million worth of gold and silver. And the reason they're doing it is to take care of their employees. So it really has everything to do with gold as money versus gold as a strategic play or gold as some sort of investment. They're doing it so that they can make sure that their employees get paid in case of a dollar failure.
Wow, how common is this?
It's really not common at all, but it's starting to become more common. Utah itself has accepted gold as money now for about a year. Texas also has bought a lot of gold in their treasury, and they're trying to repatriate their gold by building a gold depository down in Texas. So it has everything to do with physical gold versus the ETFs or versus paper gold swaps, that sort of thing that you see here in New York at the COMEX.
While I have you here, Dave, what's the gold forecast for the rest of the year?
Well, I think gold's going to finish the year higher, somewhere around 1230 or so. We started the year at 1170, thereabouts. So I think we're going to have an up year, but we're going to be a little struggle to get there in the next month and a half, but I think we can do that.
All right, we'll just wait and see. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
A controversial medical research company developing human embryonic stem cells is being bought up by a pharmaceutical company. Good news for investors. We'll have the details from San Francisco when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat-Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. You don't want me. Can't mess with this.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're gonna stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Ocata Therapeutics is rallying by nearly 90%, even for a small cap. That's a massive move. Now, what's behind the rally?
Hi, Jane. Today's double-digit rally comes on the heels of the latest acquisition announcement. Astellas Pharma will acquire Ocata in a cash deal worth $379 million. Now, the deal was announced after the markets closed on Monday night. Astellas is a major Japanese pharma name and boasts over $10 billion in drug sales last year.
What are the terms of the deal and what challenges do both companies face?
Well, Astellas' offer for Ocata at $8.50 a share reflects a 79% premium for investors over last Friday's close. There is still a long way to go before Astellas completes the buyout. The company still needs to convince shareholders of Ocata to sell. Meanwhile, Ocata CEO Paul Watton and executives may have committed their shares to the deal, but that only accounts for 1.7% of outstanding shares. Meanwhile, the tender offer will start no later than November 25th of this year and last for 20 business days.
Ocata Therapeutics has faced controversy over its embryonic stem cell research. How has the company moved on since its early days, and what is their expertise?
That's right, Jane. Ocata was previously known as Advanced Cell Technology, and many of us remember that name from headlines over a decade ago. The company was a pioneer and challenged the boundaries of embryonic stem cell technology and cloning. The Marlborough, Massachusetts-based company changed its name to Ocata last year, and it now focuses on macular degeneration and Stargardt disease. The company tests medical treatments derived from human embryonic stem cells, and these treatments are controversial because their creation usually involves the destruction of human embryos. At the same time, Ocata says it can avoid embryo destruction. And in its clinical trials, Ocata has reported promising results. Its processes involve turning embryonic stem cells into a type of retinal support cell and implanting them into people suffering from a dry form of age-related macular degeneration and Stargardt disease, a rare form of blindness that afflicts children and teenagers. But it isn't alone in the space. Vision Medicines raised $7.5 million to develop a treatment for Stargardt disease. Separately, Sanofi has partnered with UK firm Oxford Biomedica on an experimental gene therapy to treat Stargardt disease.
Straight ahead, we take you to Europe, where a popular fitness chain is hoping to raise the bar with an IPO. The story when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, how have the European markets been behaving lately?
Well, I think investors will probably be focused on the second day and final day of the Eurozone finance ministers' monthly meeting to see what they're going to say about boosting the Eurozone economy and the financial climate, and also, of course, whether they're going to release more money to Greece or not. So that will be interesting. At the same time, comments from Michael van Dulken of Ascendo Markets. You know, while German trade data was better than expected this time, they're still calling for more Eurozone stimulus and from the ECB. In Europe, the markets generally today pulled up with the surprising exception of the UK and France. Despite reasonably good news, the UK unemployment fell to its lowest level since 2008, although that does rather mask the fact they still got exceedingly high youth unemployment. French industrial production also edged up, but the CAC edged down, and this possibly is due to Renault, where there's a spat going on between the government and the management, particularly in relation to Renault and Nissan, where Nissan was bankrupt, of course, when they took it over, and is now actually more profitable than Renault, and the government's concerned about possibly Renault cutting jobs in France. So we shall see what happens about that.
Well, Graham, what are you looking at today?
Well, before we look at today's company under the spotlight, a quick diversion on IPOs. Fitness Train, the gym group, launched an IPO on the main stock exchange in London yesterday with an offering which raised £250 million, but this was 50 million short of their target. So we'll see what happens. They go to unconditional dealing on Thursday. But the company, which is a pay-as-you-go gym structure, launched in 2008, has 66 sites and 363,000 members. But this might be a case again with IPOs of more of the same being less popular. Today we have looking at a company that's scheduled to come to the Amsterdam market tomorrow. It's a German company which, at risk of being stereotyped or stereotypical, to me exemplifies what the Germans can do when they want to apply multidisciplinary skills to complex problems. The company is called Curetis.
What is special about the company?
Well, Curetis is not your typical biotech startup or R&D driven company. It's quite complicated. But it's rather a company with some years of multidiscipline expertise and a clear focus on commercial development. It's that word focus again. They say that they listen carefully to what the market and their clients' needs and strive to address those in a flexible and pragmatic and intelligent solution. And the current example is something they call Univero. Now, Univero is a platform, is a fast, comprehensive diagnostic system for severe infection diseases in hospitalized patients. Something that can take days in a traditional laboratory environment. It consists, as you can see here, on several versions of a black box, as far as I'm concerned, that can be placed anywhere that is needed. It doesn't need a special environment, so it can be actually in the patient's area. And with it, you see below coloured cartridges. And it is these cartridges which are really the clever piece. They are designed to allow a different type of disease, maybe pneumonia, maybe a tissue infection from an implant or some other, to be easily and rapidly diagnosed within 4 to 5 hours without specialist lab support. This is really the application and combining of multidisciplinary expertise, biotech, diagnosis, engineering, etc. And it's made it possible for Curetis to commercialize their solution to a challenging medical problem. And this is just the start. It all began with the Univero product idea and progressed through development and approval procedures towards tapping international medical technology markets. From the outset, the company has impressed everyone with its awareness of quality combined with a strong pioneering spirit and their motto, which is, we really care about diagnostics. This success was in no part due to not only their engineering capability, but their molecular and microbiological expertise and the ability to put it all together. And its growth potential is really in two areas. One is bringing the product into more markets, and at the same time developing a continuous stream of new cartridges for additional infectious diseases. Think about it, if something like this had been readily available during the recent Ebola outbreak in Africa, think what a difference that rapid diagnosis on site could have made to the outcomes. This is a really interesting example of combining all these skills, diagnostic, biotech, engineering, R&D, and to create a world-class product. A company I think is going to be well worth watching.
Positive trial results for a prostate drug has shares doubling for one biotech company. The details next on Small Cap Nation.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Today's shares of Sophiris Bio seeing a triple-digit percentage gain, and that is quite a rally, but its market cap is small. Why the sudden clamor for Sophiris?
Sophiris Bio is developing a clinical stage targeted therapy for treating urological diseases, and this microcap is getting quite a boost today. Its experimental drug PRX302 met the main goal in a late-stage study, and the drug improved symptoms in men suffering from enlarged prostate, or BPH, which stands for benign prostatic hyperplasia. It was well tolerated without any serious health concerns. And Sophiris says that the same results in another study could mean applying for marketing approval with the FDA.
To get a better understanding of the significance of the study, how does Sophiris Bio's PRX302 treat benign prostatic hyperplasia?
It may sound like quite a mouthful, but it's simple. PRX302, also known as topsalicin, is a modified recombinant protein that's been engineered to be selectively activated by an enzyme in the prostate. And this causes localized cell death as well as tissue disruption without damaging neighboring tissue or nerves. Now, the drug itself binds to the GPI-anchored receptors on the cell surface of prostate cells. And GPI is a glycolipid. Now, once PRX302 is activated by PSA, or a prostate-specific antigen, it combines with other activated molecules. So in layman terms, this process helps form stable transmembrane pores that induce cell death. Now, in terms of safety, the prostate-specific activation of the drug works by enzymatically activating PSA. And that means it helps limit exposure of non-prostate tissues to the drug's activity. Get ready for its earnings report tomorrow on November 11th. After today's rally, the focus will be on its bottom line. But also keep in mind that for this microcap name, the trial timelines and results are more important. Separately, Sophiris has partnered with Kissei Pharmaceuticals for the development and commercialization of the drug PRX302 in Japan. And at the current valuation, highlights for Sophiris include a fairly clean capital structure and cash burn.
A popular New Orleans restaurant chain finds life isn't so easy in the Big Easy. A Wall Street analyst has downgraded its shares. Our daily buy, sell, or hold segment when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy, it's 40 bucks. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat-trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Stay low. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're gonna stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
In buy-sell hold action today, Advisory Board is rated a new buy at Cantor Fitzgerald. Bemis resumed neutral at Macquarie. Gartner Group shares rated new buy at Cantor Fitzgerald. Graphic Packaging resumed neutral at Macquarie. Horace Mann Educators rated new market perform at JMP Securities. Newtek Business Services raised at Raymond James. Owens, Illinois resumed neutral at Macquarie. Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen was cut to neutral at Longbow Research. And Post Properties rated a new buy at BB&T Capital. Thanks for joining us for Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.